So let's say you just got an IT degree or want to get into IT. The best place to start, in my opinion, is help desk. Help desk jobs are readily available, and for those reasons, this is a second crash course for 2024 on my channel. I'm going to teach you all the basics and some advanced techniques so that way you are ready for these types of jobs. So sit back, relax, grab something to drink, grab something to eat, and let's get into it. Before we begin, please take a moment to say hi, hello, or present. It's sort of like a roll call in the class. That way I know you're present and you're interested in this type of content in the comments below. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the video. All right, let's get right into it. This is a classic. Cannot log into computer. The user is trying to log into her computer, but she's getting invalid message, invalid password message. But the main thing here is invalid password message. Immediately, we know what the problem is. And the reason I say this is because message is very specific. It says invalid password message. You would not get this message unless you were connected to the network or domain. In this case, if they are a laptop user, that means in this case they work from home, that means that their VPN is working correctly. We can eliminate any connection issues at this point. Their password is wrong. They simply are mistyping their password. So why does that happen? Well, they probably changed their password recently. They forgot what it is. They're using a caps lock, or they're just simply mistyping it, and that's what the issue is. That message is coming from the domain controller, which for example is this. Here is our Active Directory users and computers. Here is where person's login information is. Again, there is a disclaimer in front of my video saying that these are fake people. These aren't real people. These aren't real login IDs. This is just for educational purposes. But for example, let's say it's Edward here, Edward Norton. He probably changed his password recently. We can look at their account. You can see that it's not locked. Otherwise, it would say this account is locked under the account here. And also doesn't say user must change the password at next logon. That means that they've already changed it. Usually you would leave this checked like this if you are configuring this person for the first time, so that way they can set their own password. But that's not the case here. They simply are mistyping their password. So you can right click and reset their password if that's the case, right? That would be the fix here. And that's fine. But let me show you how that message looks like. Here's just some computer, and I want to show you that, for example, Edward here is never logged into this computer, and you can tell by going to the C drive, going to users, and this was where all the local profiles would be. Edward has never logged into this computer, therefore there is no login, there's no local profile, I should say, created. All right, let me log out as administrator. And after that, all right, see how there is no option for me to log in with a different login ID. There is no like select here to log in as a different user, which is annoying, right? However, you should be able to get past that by sending Control-Alt-Delete. So if you're in front of the computer, you do Control-Alt-Delete. But for some reason, it's not working here, which is very annoying because this is a virtual machine. That's okay. Let's get back into it. We are going to trick the system, and I'll show you how. Remember how there is no local profile? This is exactly what you might have to do when somebody's working from home, if you have a way to do it. As long as you're connected to the VPN, you can log in as administrator. So you'll have what it's called lapse password, meaning local administrator password. And if you are able to take control of person's computer, even if they're working from home, and you can do this with like logging into Teams and say, can you share your screen? So they just need to be connected to the internet, their Wi-Fi or whatever, and they can share their screen with you through Teams, right? And you request that they control. I don't need to show you this because it's very simple. You can do this Teams, Zoom, whatever. And in order to create or trick the system into creating a local profile without having to actually log in is by finding any executable that is available and run it as different user. So in this case, let's look for Microsoft Edge and right-clicking Microsoft Edge properties, open file location. Again, it could be any executable. In this case, I'm just going to use Microsoft Edge as an example. Notice there is no add Norton in here, which is the login ID that we're going to use here. It's not there. But if I hold shift on your keyboard, right click, and now you have an option to run as different user. Otherwise, if you just right click, there won't be that option. Even on Windows 10, this is Windows 11, but even on Windows 10, you wouldn't have this ability. So shift on your keyboard, hold shift, right click, run as different user. And as long as we are connected to the domain, this will work fine. Add Norton and use their password. You have to know their password. It says password is incorrect. It's okay. Let's switch to Corp. Add Norton. What I'm doing right now is switching to the domain, telling it to specifically use domain login. Didn't work. That's okay. Maybe this computer is not part of the domain. Let's resolve this issue. What I'm doing right now is right-clicking the start button. We just need to get to the system. Check to see if this computer is part of the domain, and it is not. Okay? It would say right here that it is. Select domain or workgroup. Under computer name, on the bottom here it says to rename this computer or change its domain or workgroup, select change. Go to domain. Let's double check what the domain name is. We need to know what that is. And we can go back to our domain controller and check this. We can see that it's corp.contoso.com. Also, at the same time, if I select computers, we can see that the name of this computer is not in here. We have client 1 and client 2, but this is client 3, as you can see. So it was corp.contoso.com. For this to happen, you need domain admin credentials. It says here, enter the name and password of an account with permissions to join this domain. This is my, for training purposes, again, not real. That was my domain login, domain admin login, which allowed me to join this computer to the domain. It says welcome to corp.contoso domain. All right. Select OK, and we have to restart the computer. I'm glad that this is kind of happening because these are all the things that you need to learn, especially if you are new to help desk or tech support. Because there are many, many faceted issues. You see how this started as a simple password not working issue, and it suddenly turned into this domain is, or this computer is not even part of the domain, and therefore we cannot authenticate. Okay, and now we have an option to select other user immediately. This is why it wasn't available there to begin with, and we can do that now. And you can see that it says here sign into Corp. The screen will, I'll zoom into this so you can see this. Corp, that's the name of our domain, and I can do add Norton here and log in as add because we have connection to the domain. But let's go back as an admin just to show you that trick that I spoke about earlier, where we can trick it into creating a local profile, which you may have to do if you're trying to help somebody who is working from home, to trick them, to trick the computer in letting them log in. I just want to go back to users, see users. This is where all of our local profiles are. Going back to finding Microsoft Edge. Again, any executable is fine. Just moving this so you can see. It's not there. Microsoft Edge. Hold Shift, right click, run as different user. And we can see the domain corp is already shown here. So type in Ed Norton, his password. And you see how it popped in right there? That means we have opened up Edge as Ed Norton with his credentials. Okay? Now Ed Norton is available as a local profile, but it's not a full local profile. It's just a base of a local profile that will let you authenticate to it or log in for the first time as Ed. Assuming that, let's say Ed is the one who can't log in at all at home. This could happen if they've never logged in before. So even now, even if I was to disconnect from the network, if I was to unplug the computer completely from the network, disconnect Wi-Fi, all of that, now I can log in as Ed regardless whether there is a connection or not using that same password. Just to show you here, sign out. Now we have an option for other user. And there it goes. Edward Norton is logging in for the first time. And I just want you to keep all of these issues in mind when troubleshoot these what seem to be simple issues. And the point of it is just to give you full confidence. Anyways, it's just going to log in as Ed, and we're going to leave him logged in for the future tickets as well. All right. And for a reply to this ticket, and as a resolution, the password for this user needs to be changed. Password is, well, let's just say this. The password for this user needed to be changed because user was mistyping the password. All right. Mistyping the password. All right, moving on. Let's try this ticket here. Computer not powering on. Another classic help desk ticket. The user is reporting that her computer is not coming on. She tried another surge protector, but still the same issue. She tried a different socket, but still the same issue. The user is using a desktop computer. She is working from the office. The computer is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is typical. As a help desk person, what you would want to check, and I'm just going to start to type in. There's not much you can do because you're talking on the phone with them or chatting, or depends how it is. But let's say you're on the phone talking to them. And as a note, before you send it off to somebody else that's on site, say, asked user to check all of the cables to make sure they are plugged in correctly. Right? That's pretty much all you can do, aside from saying that since you checked all of this, or you've asked the user to check, you can't see what they're doing, right? You can only take their word for it. And use common sense. For example, even though this seems like a simple ticket, ask things like, is it all the way in? Is it plugged in? And do it with respect, because nobody wants to feel stupid, right? But it does happen when somebody doesn't plug in something correctly. So be respectful and mindful that you don't offend anybody when you're asking this. Say, can you please check that it's all the way in, the cable's all the way in? Is it plugged in correctly? And like, let's say it's a laptop, for example. Did you connect it to the correct, connection? I'm sorry, I have to ask this and I have to double check, but did you connect it correctly? Because you'll be surprised how sometimes you just have to push it in a little bit more when it comes to the cables, right? So just be respectful of that, and you just might fix it. Obviously, if they have no power, just because they have a different power strip, they can go somewhere else and plug it in. But it could also be not just like the desktop itself. It could be the monitor that's not getting power, right? So have them check the monitor cable, see if the monitor is getting any power. Monitor should say no signal, at least briefly. It says no signal available. There should be some kind of indicator. So they don't necessarily just have the desktop computer. They also have a monitor and maybe something else that is also connected to power. So make sure you exhaust all of these things before you say this. Routing ticket to local support for assistance. Right? That's all you can do. That's all you can do afterwards. The reason you run it or send it to the local is because they're at the office. They're at the office. If they are working from home, especially, you need to spend a little bit more time to try to help them, excuse me, if needed, because that's your job as help desk. You're the first line of tech support. All right, let's try this one here. Problem with Wi-Fi. Hello, I have a weird problem with a Wi-Fi router and in the flat where I live. I live with three other girls, and if it comes to our mobile phones, the internet is working fine, but the problem starts when it comes to laptops. When I use the internet on my laptop, every 30 minutes I lose connection, and I need to click again on to have I need to click on connect to have internet again. Yesterday, my roommate had an error on her laptop, cannot connect to this network, although on her mobile phone and tablet it worked without any problems. Moreover, once I opened the website which I used to learn Italian, it showed that this website is not available. But suddenly, when I was connected to my private internet, this website was available and worked fine. I doubt that the problem is with the fact that too many people use Wi-Fi, but maybe I'm wrong. Actually, you shouldn't doubt yourself on this actually, because if you can set up a Wi-Fi to limit the amount of people that are connected to it. And I have a feeling that's what's going on here. Because if you are connected and you stay connected for a while and about 30 minutes you lose connection, chances are that your Wi-Fi hotspot is set up so that there is a limit of how many people at the same time are connected, unfortunately. How would you troubleshoot this? You would have to have access to the Wi-Fi router directly. And as help desk, you can certainly try this. You can log in to somebody's Wi-Fi. It's kind of weird to troubleshoot, but this type of troubleshooting would most likely happen with an ISP, meaning Internet Service Provider. So let's say you work for an Internet Service Provider and your help desk, you would be doing this type of troubleshooting. So you'd have a way to check somebody's connection. And normally you would, let me just kind of show you on this let's show you as Edward. Let's say I was Edward and I've had these problems. I would log into my router and see what I can change. Now, typical like a router IP address. This is how you would log in through a web interface. It could just be a IP address, and it would be something like this: 192. Come on, I didn't have my caps lock on, or not caps, number lock on. 192. I don't know. Let's say 106.1.1. So this could be the router website login, web login, and you would log into that and check the setting to see if there's a limit of how many people are allowed to log in. Let me just show you something here. There it is. See, this is what for Cisco router typical is. 192.168.1.1, and this is what you would type in to log into it. And here are examples. Hopefully when I select this Cisco here, it will show you an example interface. I don't want to log into my router right now and show you, because that way I'd have to edit the video and blur some stuff. But, you know, here's an example of that. Here it tells you right here, this is on Cisco's website, and you get a login ID, and you know, this is what might be, you know, default or whatever. So you would have to look for what the default is, which could be just admin, or in this case Cisco, and then maybe Cisco typed in again. I don't know, I'm just guessing. It could be admin 1234, you know, whatever the default is. And here's what it looks like inside of a router, for example. And here's the wireless right here. If you select wireless, within the settings there would be an option to change or to limit how many people are allowed to connect at the same time. Sometimes it's under LAN, sometimes it's under WAN. Who knows? But you just have to kind of dig through. But chances are it will be under wireless and maybe LAN. This is where I would kind of concentrate on when it comes to how many people are allowed to connect. Otherwise, there would be really no other reason unless you're simply losing signal, unless it's bad signal. And this is why I'm going to say this. Unless there is some kind of issue with the signal, it could mean that there is a limited, it could be that there's a limit set within the Wi-Fi hotspot of how many people can connect to the internet. Sure. What's the saying when is a cross signaling or something like that? There's a saying when you have two like same type of signal being sent over the same wire or even wirelessly. Crosstalk? Crosstalk. I think it's crosstalk. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. If that's the case, what that means usually is that you have multiple Wi-Fis running on the same frequency. You can change that. You could possibly try to change the channel frequency of your Wi-Fi hots, which could fix the issue. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. So if you change the frequency that it's different from other hotspots, you go a few degrees up or down, then you can possibly fix this. I do have a video on showing you literally inside a router and how to do some of this type of stuff. Try to remember to link it because this is going to be a long video, right? I'll try to remember to link it in this video so it pops up. But if you just go to youtube.com/Kobuman, right? youtube.com/Kobuman, and go into the search and just type in Wi-Fi, you will see my videos on that. All right, let's look at this one here, OneDrive issues. I'm having an issue that when I go to save documents, when I'm working from home, in my drop-down, I only have the option to say OneDrive Personal, right? OneDrive Business is not an option. Is this something that you can correct, or is this something I can do to add it? See, here's the thing. The fact that you are working from home and should be irrelevant to OneDrive, because as long as you log into OneDrive using your work email specifically, then you would see that OneDrive, right? It's not one of those things that, oh, you're logged in with your personal drive. I don't know why you would even be logged in on a work computer with your personal drive, but here, let's just look at an example here. We're logged in here as Ed, and if I go down here to look for OneDrive, you can see right now that this is OneDrive. It says not signed in. So if I select it, it would get a sign in option, and then I would just type in my work email address. In this case, could be Ed Norton at corp.contoso.com. So this should work anywhere from any computer as long as you can authenticate to it. It doesn't even have to be a work computer, but I'm just saying that if you are using a work computer, why are you seeing a personal OneDrive on there to begin with? Why are you logged in as yourself? That would be my question. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't know what your job is. Maybe you are doing some kind of a side hustle or something, and or working multiple jobs. I have no idea. I don't know. When it comes down to it, you just need to log in with your company sign in, whatever that is, and then you'll see your OneDrive. That as simple as that. I don't think there is any other issue here. With Windows 11, there's only one version, right? OneDrive is already installed on your PC. Okay, so it just started downloading. So there's only one version of OneDrive. I don't know that there isn't any other ones. There aren't any other ones. So the answer is please log into OneDrive with your work email address. Done. All right, Microsoft Office error when opening files. Please see the error message below when opening files. Not all, but Microsoft Office, Word, documents, PowerPoint, Excel files, etc. And I understand there's a fix that can be installed to resolve. And it tells me what the computer name is. Please advise. So we don't actually have, if I select this attachment, it's just a copy of this ticket because it's not uploaded correctly. Anyway, I don't know what the error is, but here are a couple of things that it could be. If you're a Microsoft Word, Excel, etc., is giving you an error that says, for example, you can only view this document, but you can't edit it. That is an issue with licensing for Office 365. If you're not able to open, it says here below, when opening some, but not all Microsoft Word, blah, 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 etc., if they're all giving you some kind of other error, and it says here, I understand there's a fix that can be installed to resolve an issue, it could be that you simply need to install Office on that computer. So whatever the Office version that your company uses, hopefully Office 365. You can also, if it's a licensing issue or as an alternative, you can go to office.com and log in. It's okay, it's trying to sign in. Come on. Come on. Ah, there it is. Okay, cool. So here it is. This is the workaround for Office, right? Right here. And I'm logged in here as one of my just fake logins, right? Fake logins for the developer version of Microsoft. I think I'm logged in as Bob Bobson. Yeah, Bob Bobson. And Bob Bobson has a license to view all of these things. So there are some licenses like a very basic Office 365. Well, now it's known as Microsoft 365. They keep changing names, man. Anyways, you can, if you have the basic license, then you only have access to online. If it's like a F3 license, you only have access to whatever is available online only. Online only. But if you have a higher license like a E5 or I don't know what the other ones are. There are like 5 or 6 different ones. You can install local version of Office 365 and your system administrator can do it. Your desktop support people, your, tech support people that actually install software, right? Not necessarily help desk. But if you have a ability to install it as a help desk, perfect. Otherwise, anybody can install it. This would be normally disabled. You don't see this option in a business environment if you're logged in. But look here on the right side, you can actually install Microsoft 365 apps on your computer. You can download the app or the suite on the computer. But again, if you don't have the correct license, then all you have is access for the online version of it like it is here, and if you select this here, there's a bunch of more options and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that and say the Office suite needs to be installed or there is an issue with licensing. Hey, I spelled that correctly. All right. That's that. Resolve. All right. Moving on. Ooh, what is this here? That's interesting. Hello, my name is Benicio Hilard. Hello, my name is Benicio Hilard. I think I said that right. I'm here to seek a opportunity for a new career field. I don't know why this is. Oh, this is somebody's resume. If you're watching this, let me know, and I can review your resume online and create a video about it. I don't want to pull it up right now and open up this attachment because it might have your personal information on it. I hope you understand. I would gladly I'll gladly review it if you just let me know. Hello. If you'd like me to review your resume on a video for YouTube, let me be specific, for YouTube, please let me know. I guess if anybody else wants me to review their resume, look, I get these emails occasionally where people, so I have a business email. So if you go to my YouTube about, and there's my contact, email contact, and it says for business purposes only, people still send me emails asking me to help them and review their emails or their resumes. And, I simply can't because it just takes time, man. I'm only one person, and I have to basically, whatever free time I have over the weekend on a Saturday or a Sunday, record these videos, edit them, and this and that. It's just a lot of work. I don't have time to help everybody. The best way I can help people is by making these videos. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I can't provide tutorials like one-on-ones as much as I want to. I still work a full-time job. I get home tired, and during, Monday through Friday, I work just like everybody else. On Saturday and Sunday, I'm trying to rest, but occasionally I have to make videos, once a month or twice a month I try to make a video, which is fun as well. But if you want me to also review your resume and make a video about it, if I get enough people, then I'll make a video just for those resumes. Let me know. Just leave a comment and let me know. I'll read the comment. All right, let's try to resolve this one here. It says Windows Explorer. After trying to access the K drive, Windows Explorer froze, then force quit. I'm assuming the K drive here is probably a network drive of some sort, network share. Usually when people refer to drives with letters and nothing else, that usually is some kind of a network shared drive. The more correct, more specific way to refer to a drive is to provide its full path to whatever that may be on that network. So in this case, Windows Explorer froze, then force quit. I performed a hard shutdown of my computer. Upon attempting to restart, I received the attached error message. And it says, failed to create tray icon. If I'm not mistaken, this refers to the system tray. So this is after reboot. I'm just thinking out loud here. Upon attempting to restart, I received the attached error message. All right, well, let's look at the first issue here because it seems to be a two-parter here. It says, after trying to access the K drive, Windows Explorer froze, then force quit. This could be caused by many different things, including like running out of RAM, running out of space, running out of processing power on your computer. But let's assume those things are okay. The next thing I would actually look is to make sure that the K drive is reachable. meaning that it's online, that it's available. So just like a network drive somewhere else that is just there. So, like if I open up Explorer here, go to this PC, and I have the C drive, and here it would be a network drive. And this can be, for example, added like this. So in Windows 11, it's like this. You select the three dots, and you can map a network drive or a network location, and you can just type in, let's say, K here, select the letter K or whatever you want, and just specify the location of it. Let's say my shared drive. It could be server name server 1, and then folder my shared drive, and then something like this. It could be a path. And then you select finish, and then suddenly you have another drive here that says it's the letter K. And make sure that that's working, or that it's a correct path. And once you add one, you will see the path. I don't have a network drive available to add because this is just a lab, but it will tell you what the path is, and make sure that that's correct, right? So that's your first step. Now, the fact that we have this error here upon restart, so after rebooting the computer, and the computer loads again, and it auto loads some things, which includes the system tray icons. In this case, this is probably referring to the tray icon 1. So whatever the Windows operating system is referring to, so the tray icon 1 could be any of the icons. So here, for example, if on the same computer that we just looked at, here are the tray icons right here. So if I expand this, here's any of these. So one of these failed to load. So this could have caused by automatic startup of an application that was recently installed. So it could be anything. It could be OneDrive. It could be antivirus. It could be your new graphics card driver or some kind of a driver. Anything that runs in a system tray like this. And that's what I would look at. I would assume that there's some kind of software that is causing that. So you can look at what's coming up on the startup. So if you go to your task manager, this is one way to look at it. Just bear with me. It's slightly different on Windows. Here it is on Windows 10, I should say. In Windows 11, it's just an icon right on the left-hand side. And here are the things that start up upon reboot. So when you reboot your computer, you can see that Cortana starts up. You can see that OneDrive starts up. We saw OneDrive down here when I showed you the icon, and it says here it's enabled. So you can try to enable and disable some of these to see which ones are causing the problem. But I would look at this to see, what is there a program that simply doesn't work? And that would be the case if the tray icon doesn't load up, right? So this is something I would look into specifically. Now, you can, if it's a Windows corruption issue, sometimes Windows operating system will get corrupted and start to throw these weird errors. You can run a repair of Windows without having to reinstall it. So open up a command prompt, run it as administrator, type in sfc scan now. What this will do will look at the system files of Windows 11 in this case, or Windows 10. It will go through all the crucial Windows operating system files. It would scan them and look for the ones that have been corrupted. And it would find them, and it would download and reinstall them or replace them or repair them, if you will, on its own. So let me hit enter here, and it take a while, and it will tell you if it found any issues whatsoever. And if there was an issue, it will say that it found it and that it repaired it. But I would look at something that was installed recently as an app that is trying to load while you're rebooting after a reboot. So that part of it shouldn't be related to the fact that the K drive doesn't work. All right. We can check that out, what the result of that is, but that should be fine because that Windows 11 installation is fine. So let's type our node in, and this is just for us to know what we're going to do is, let me just think here. Okay, check to make sure that K drive network path is correct and that the K drive is online. The tray icon error is possibly related to recent software installation that uses a tray icon to run upon restart, also known as startup. And if any issues with OS being corrupted, you can run in CMD as admin sfc/scan now. Well, I should have end quote. So this part of it here, and this can, this can fix issues. I've used this before where it resolved issues. All right. Let me know if you think of possible other solutions. I always welcome comments. And because, as IT, you only know so much. So you try to go through those things that you know. And sometimes you come across things that are a solution for something that you didn't know. So if you have a comment, suggestion, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I always welcome comments as long as they're respectful. Super rarely somebody comes up and is just ignorant, and those people just get blocked immediately. It's super rare, but once in a blue moon, maybe once or twice a month, somebody comes across like that. But I always welcome comments, and I try to respond as much as I can. I'm just trying to pick something that keeps it so that we have a variety of things to talk about in this. And let's try this one here. Cannot find the user in the system with user ID. Customer is calling back to report PC and user ID logged in. This PC tried. This PC is there, but she or no one in her department has called in any work to be done on this machine. Okay, I tried to connect, but it was unsuccessful. I looked up the user ID, but it was not in Active Directory. Well, they need to be added into Active Directory. I mean, if that's the case, well, I mean, it could be just wrong login ID that they have. So here's our Active Directory. Here is our users. Actually, here is users for this OU. So organizational unit, these folders are simply called OUs, as in organizational units, to keep things organized. For this domain, here are the test users. We've touched on this a little bit earlier. So if you right click in there and select new user, type in new user. Basically, you just fill this out. New user, as in their login name. Next, set their password to something. And say it, so to leave it here, it says user must change a password next logon. And make sure the user is in there. Make sure the user is not disabled like this. If you right click, you can disable account. But then even if it's disabled, you should be able to find it unless there are multiple, and so, okay, first thing first, right? Do you have the correct name? So you can search by name. If you right click the domain, you can find and you can search by name, or you can type in login ID, right? And if there's something there, it will show up. But make sure you're selecting a correct domain name, sometimes, or correct OU as well. So if you're looking at different OU and you're searching through that only, then you may not find it. So that's number one. Make sure you have the correct name, correct spelling of their login ID. Right. So I said that was number one, but it's like that was number one and two actually. Just so make sure that you have the correct username that are there in the system. Add them if possible. Now don't just go ahead add them without permission, because there are certain protocols or certain let's say certain way of requesting a new user. So this has to come from their supervisor, their manager. So don't just create a new user. And the second part was to make sure you have the correct domain selected and that you're searching correct OU to make sure you can find it, right? So let's just do that here. Make sure you have the correct name and or login ID. If not, if still not in the system, reach out to their manager to make sure they are allowed to log in. We don't know if this person still works for your company. This is the point of this, right? Another thing you can do is check to make sure you are searching through correct. Oh wow, I'm really butchering this, aren't I? Thank God for spelling for AI, right? Searching through correct OU or, oh wow, come on, or domain within AD for this user. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to dwell on this one too much. It's kind of a simple one. But thank you all for submitting tickets. All right, let's just do this here from Sandeep. Just to kind of wrap it up, you can see that my voice is starting to change because I've been talking for so long. And this one is just a question, and it's not a ticket per se, but it says, I want to start my career ASAP as I am a recent graduate student, and I'm confused which pathway to select. And there's nothing else, so we have no other information. And this is just an advice, I suppose. Start from the beginning, unfortunately. I don't know what kind of a degree you have, but I'm assuming it's just, it's like a computer science or some kind of a certificate or something. But let's just assume that it's obviously IT related, but in that sense, start from the beginning. And this is a good beginning, I suppose. Start working in like help desk or some kind of a tech support that's related to help desk. So it doesn't have to be like help desk like this. It could be help desk for a internet service provider. So you'd be providing tech support for people that have internet outages and stuff like that, or for a company, for a phone company, then that you are helping somebody with, customers, I suppose, helping with their phones, connecting to their Wi-Fi, this and that. All of this stuff, all of these entry-level jobs count towards your experience. Now, if you like those jobs and if you start working for these companies, you can move within those companies to help desk that's internal help desk, which is this stuff that I'm showing you right now. And then from there, you can, if you want to advance, you can become the senior member in help desk. You can become the lead member of help desk. And from there, you can become a manager of IT. Of course, while you're doing help desk, and if you're interested and you show knowledge and interest in anything else, Aside from help desk, whether it's system administration, some kind of cybersecurity type of stuff, desktop support, anything that you might be interested in. So keep an eye out on jobs within your company. And if you see an internal job that you know you can do and you show interest and you show that you are a good worker, then you can apply for these type of jobs. So you can take multiple paths within the companies that you work for. Of course, once you get some experience working at some company, and let's say you don't like it there, you can go to work for some other company that you would rather work for. So either way, the point is to get some experience. So get at least, I'd say a couple of years of experience just to get you started. But even like 6 months or even a year worth of experience is going to help you a lot, is going to help you get other jobs as well. So don't try to like immediately get, let's say, cybersecurity job or a sysadmin job. If you can do that, then that's fine. I'm not saying don't apply for those jobs, but I'd say apply for a job that you know that you can do for sure. So sometimes you got to start from the bottom. I saw a post on LinkedIn, somebody posted recently. They said there's no such thing as cybersecurity entry level job. And in that sense, if previous experience of cybersecurity is required, then I guess in that sense there is no such thing as entry level cybersecurity. However, how do you get that experience? And the other point was as well to start from the beginning and then try to get into cybersecurity. So that to me is very confusing. I'd say just start the way I described it. Start from the bottom, especially if you're coming out of school, you're a graduate student, then start from the bottom, see how it goes. If you can get immediate desktop support job or sysadmin, cybersecurity, network admin, whatever it is that you went to school for, then that's great. Certainly try to apply for it, at least get some interviewing experience. But you'll have more luck if you apply for things that you know you can do and places that do tech support over the phone, which is what help desk is most of the time, including, this type of help desk, again, internet service providers, phone companies, anything that provides any kind of tech support, that's going to count as experience. And that's the most important thing for you to get right now. All right. I hope this helps you, and I will, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. If you like this video, please let me know in the comment below. Let me know if you watched the whole thing. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any new ideas or something like that in the comments as well. I will keep making these videos because this is my go-to source. We still have, looks like, 67 unassigned issues, as in tickets. So we're going to keep working on these and go from there. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.